You are listening to the Lucha Central Podcast Network. And now, luchacentral.com presents Masks, Mats, and Mayhem.
If you steal my ball shine, that's ball shine. Hey, it's Skeletor, and welcome to a very special Election Day edition of Masks, Mats, and Mayhem. I am your host, the Outlaw LA Red. You can find me on social media at JustinHarvey75. You can find the entire show on social media at MMMshow75. Am I glitching, Byron? Am I good? No, you're good. I think I'm good too. Look, I'm good. You're probably good. Up there, we got at Byron Fever. Over there, we got at Lucha Gringo. And on this side, we have at Meefloaf. And
hello.
Election Day. And I hope that you got your votes in. And when I say I hope you, in America, is it Election Day over there too, Meef?
I fucking wish it was. Drag that cunt out into the street and fucking beat him.
Wow. If you hadn't noticed, Meef has strong convictions at times. But being that it is time for you to vote, I hope you got your votes in our very special MMM polls, because we will be going over those today. That is what I mean when I'm talking about votes. We're going to get your election results today on this episode. As many of you are out there watching the real thing go down, the ballots are rolling in as we speak. It looks like it's a potential landslide, but you never know.
Justin, I got a problem.
What's your problem?
I thought you said that this was Erection Day.
No. Election Day.
So I got to put pants on.
These are veneers, man. These are veneers. I have a little bit of an impediment sometimes when I'm saying.
We need a veneer
election
on the show now.
I need a pants sponsor because he said it was Erection Day, so I'm freeballing it. And now
That is true. It's a crime every day we're not sponsored by Zubaz.
That's by who?
Zubaz.
But they're almost out of business right now, so I don't think they're going to be sponsored anyway.
Okay.
They need us. Well, yeah. Who's running it, by the way? Weren't the Road Warriors?
Wait, do you reckon we can get dead stock from them? You know, when they go bust.
Hey, there you go. See, in America, it's weird though, because sometimes they have to declare that stuff destroyed to get all of the insurance money when they go out of business. So literally, there was this awesome rehearsal spot where Ozzy Osbourne and all these huge bands in LA used to record. And then they went out of business and they had to destroy the whole thing and level it to the ground with microphones and everything in it. So on the day when they were going to destroy it, basically anything that happened on the property that day was whatever, and they didn't care. So we went in and got a bunch of mics and all sorts of stuff. And then they were technically destroyed in the demolition that happened later that day. And there were amps and speakers and $100,000 worth of stuff in there easily. That just got big consoles and stuff.
Yeah, Justin is actually recording on a microphone that Ozzy grew up on.
It might be one of those.
Was that the studio that Dave Grohl did the documentary on?
No, this was a rehearsal place called Leeds. It was not an actual studio. It was just a rehearsal spot that people would, it had a big room in it, so you could go and do your tour rehearsal there. So a lot of big bands would go in there for a little bit on their way out to rehearse. Anyway, let's look at one of these polls right now. We'll be covering these throughout the episode, but I kind of want to talk. I want to talk about. There's one of them that's still open, so we won't get into that one yet. But obvious. Let's just hit the obvious one. The one that should have gone this way and did go this way. And
favorite MMM show co-host, Professor Casey. Thank you.
What is the best promotion for Lucha Libre in 2020? Now, and this is a little bit strange. CMLL came in dead last with 7% of the vote.
Not sure.
Maybe you don't kill half your roster with COVID and you'll get some more votes.
But the funny thing about that is they came in last, and there's only 2 true Lucha Libre promotions on this list. How do you come in last when you're one of 2?
You run things like CMLL, sloppy shop.
God,
the one woman who took over it and was destined to actually change it and make it run like an actual company and do something good with it, they ran her out of town, even though she technically owns the company.
She got the Dixie Carter treatment.
Yeah, she would have done it. She got the Dixie Normus treatment, and it would have been great.
Uh-oh.
Well, so in last place, CMLL. Now, the other surprising part about this particular poll and the votes that came in, because this is a voter special, so we need to talk about your votes. I don't know if everyone exercised their right to vote or not, but 23.3% of people who voted in this poll picked WWE as the best promotion for Lucha Libre in 2020.
And AEW, same amount.
And AEW also tied with 23.3%.
Wow. So I hope you guys are enjoying that fucking Kalisto push then, huh?
Wow. I mean,
how is the Pentagon and Phoenix push going?
It's just
pretty good. Pretty good.
This week. How's Jack Evans and Angelico doing?
Well, we'll get to that because that's
how many more Mexicans have been employed by AEW?
But it's also like what Lucha is being programmed there. You know, they're
also how's the Mega Championship doing that now? That's an AEW.
Well, that's look, that would be my one reason to actually give AEW some votes, because the AAA Mega Championship is actually being held up over there at AEW.
Where the fuck is Masquerada Dorada? Is Mascara Dorada? Where's Grand Metalik, man?
He's hanging out, chilling out with his pinata.
Where's not Kalisto? Lince Dorado.
The funniest one is the new Sin Cara on Instagram.
Yeah,
that's always worth checking out because that's funny.
I mean,
he says that there's a new Sin Cara coming, and he's the Sin Cara, and he's got 15,000 followers, but his mask is really cheap.
But Sin Cara's mask was getting really cheap before he left WWE. So,
oh no, this is really, really cheap. This is like
$5
cheap.
Damn,
I don't know. I just find that I found that one surprising. And of course, AAA, who hasn't been running shows pretty much until a few weeks ago, came in at 46.5% of the vote in this particular poll. And given this poll had some of the lower numbers, we posted this one in like the middle of the night Friday, and people were out partying, so didn't get a ton of votes. But I don't think it's inaccurate to the sentiment that's kind of out there right now. Like, look, if you still want Lucha Libre, AAA is still the place. They're running the Autos Luchas now. I've seen a little bit of it. I haven't really invested a ton of time. They don't seem to be really heavily getting into storyline right now.
No, they said they won't. They're like standalone shows. So
yeah, so they're
great. Yeah,
it's just your performers out there performing, getting people some work, entertaining the crowds. They've had some decent turnouts too, and they're still trying to figure it out. Though from the televised version that I've seen, I'm trying to figure out like how high the stage is raised compared to where the cars are. Seems like it would actually be pretty hard to see. I don't know if they have big monitors out there. You can't really tell from their hard camera angle. But even the hard camera angle seemed a little low and weird. Like it's a little hard to watch.
And it didn't look like the cars were in the little pits like a drive-in either, which helps a lot.
Yeah.
Like a car park.
But I mean, look, just for getting out of your house, taking the fam to do something, seeing some Lucha Libre, keeping your favorite performers out there employed and doing something. I'm all for that. And, obviously every promotion is a little bit hurt by the fact that travel for a lot of performers has been very difficult. Visas are obviously an issue right now with COVID. So just performers getting in and out of countries and showing up in various places is difficult. So you do have a little bit of a limited roster down there in AAA. You can't bring some of the guys that are like doing the AEW stuff down all the time. It's it's tricky for all of them. So God bless Conan and whatever he's doing. He's probably not even going down himself. I bet he's just phoning it in.
Fuck, I wouldn't do it. Fuck that.
I mean, I'm sure he's calling in stuff and making suggestions and on the phone with Dorian.
I want to say not San Antonio. Oh God, where is it? He's doing one for DJ Voz. It's a Day of the Dead multicultural event.
Oh yeah, I think is it in Texas somewhere? El Paso or something?
I want to say it was Texas. What's that other place down?
San Antonio.
No, not in Texas.
Amarillo, Texas, you son of a bitch.
There's New Mexico. There's Arizona. There's
maybe
California.
It's Arizona. I want to say it's Arizona.
Utah.
Those are all the ones on that border down there, Beef.
Well, Utah's technically Mexico. California.
They don't teach American geography over there in England.
So, well, I know half of America belongs to Mexico. So,
I mean, like, I know where Cardiff is. Come on, man. I've even figured out where Falmouth is at this point. You got to know a little something about American geography.
Well, it's just a big pile of shit. So,
all right.
You get the right.
Well, one of these days I'll explain the electoral voting map to you, because there's some weird stuff on that, like congressional district for electoral votes, where you could win part of Iowa and not the rest of it, or the center of Maine can go one way and the outer ring of Maine can go a different way.
Why you have an electoral college which was designed around stopping slaves from being able to vote to count.
And you mean, and you don't understand that? Pretty much,
it's still around.
That's pretty much exactly why we have it.
He starts talking about owning slaves, and Casey just bounced.
Well, he had to go check on them.
That's true.
Casey
doesn't even own land. How can he own people?
That's so true. No, look. So, like, Meatloaf, the whole thing is, people are under the mistaken impression that America is a democracy, a full democracy. It is not. It is a democratic republic, which means that you choose people to represent you. And every state, every different part of the union has a different way of doing that, apparently. And
you choose people to represent you when the two people are chosen by who can raise the most money, and therefore be chosen by people who take the money off them.
Yeah. Democratic Republic sounds like fun. But hey, look, you've all the denizens of deliciousness have exercised their right to vote. AAA is in fact the #1 promotion, according to you, the denizens out there, for Lucha Libre. All right, makes sense.
Kind of. If you voted WWE, you disgust me.
Well, look, it might be because their favorite luchadors are there, and not because they're the best promotion for Lucha Libre, but because they do. I mean, they do have some of the best luchadors around.
To be fair, for a minute they're doing a great thing with Andrade and Selena Vega. And then they brought up some of their NXT luchadors. Those guys up with them for
Rey Mysterio thing's actually doing quite well with Dominic.
Yeah, look, and Rey Mysterio, but at the same time, you have to admit that Rey Mysterio is the #1 luchador in the world still,
of all time.
based on popularity, based on accomplishment, based on the fact that he still performs in ring.
He's the #1 cuck, because we know who that kid's real dad is.
Woo! True. And look, if Eddie was out there and still doing it right now, I'd give it to Eddie in a heartbeat. But of the guys that but I'm just saying, look, Ray was one of the guys that popularized it, along with Eddie and Psychosis and a couple of other guys that really made it a big thing here in the States, and Conan helping out. And then, but he's the one that's still out there performing. He's doing stuff with his family. Aaliyah's in love with Murphy now, which I thought was actually a good angle. I'm sure Casey hates me for saying that, but
yeah,
I was entertained by it. Look, this is the telenovela thing.
Imagine doing a storyline where an older gentleman slides into a teenager's DMs.
Wow.
All I was watching.
18? She's 19.
I was just watching Wing instead, and I was watching Freddie wrestle Leatherface, and I had a way better time. It actually wasn't a solid match. I mean, it kind of sucked a dick. But
it was a little sloppy, but it was fun.
Leatherface did a moonsault to
McMichaels. How was it?
What's that, Meave?
On a scale of 1 to Mongo McMichaels, which was it?
On a scale of 1 to Mongo?
It was at about Ice Train.
Why? Who?
What has happened?
Mongo's finish should be a jumping tombstone pile driver.
Tragic.
The guy wanted to be in a wheelchair.
Just give him a hacksaw clothesline and he won't accidentally murder people.
Or a pounce,
By the way, the pounce, with regards to the Lucha review, I'm just going to do the whole thing right now. Hernandez.
No, Byron, we have an entire segment for the Lucha review. It's after we do the Denise thing, we come back, we look into the poll, we do the Lucha review thing.
The whole episode. And so he did a wonderful pounce. It looked good and it was safe. And it made me think of every time I see COVID denier Lance Archer do a pounce, he murders someone.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's
he's not called the Nice Hawk monster. Okay.
Correct. Correctamundo.
Well,
it's a bit of a murdery Hawk.
You'd have to enunciate that a little too much, actually. Anyway, because people might think you're saying he has a nice cock, and
it's bad business when he's pouncing future star Will Hobbs, and his neck almost like snaps through the bottom ring.
Chowder.
Look, anyway, since Byron's so anxious to get to the Lucha Underground Rewind, let's do this. Let's jump over to Denise Salcedo in Lucha Central and see what's going on the Lucha Central Podcast Network, and then we'll come back with the Lucha Underground Rewind and some more of the voting results here on Election Day MMMshow.
Hey everyone, it's Denise Salcedo here in Lucha Central with a reminder of where and when to catch all of the great network content this week. Get the full lineup and listen to all of our shows in the podcast network section of luchacentral.com. Sundays on the Lucha Central Facebook page, world-traveled shooter of the camera kind, Jerry Villagrana goes mano a mano with a fellow photographer to throw down about some of their favorite photos they have taken at Lucha Libre events. Monday, Business of the Business returns as Mass Republic President Kevin Kleinrock takes you inside how your favorite Lucha Libre merchandise gets made. On Tuesdays, Mass Mats and Mayhem takes you inside the world of Lucha Underground as they take you weekly through the series with the benefit of hindsight and the benefit of special guests from the groundbreaking series. Check out the premiere video stream every Tuesday at 2 p.m. Pacific, 5 p.m. Eastern on the Lucha Central YouTube channel and at luchacentral.com. Then listen to it on your favorite podcast platform every Wednesday. Tuesday nights live, it's Wrestle Boss, where Fabi Chulo talks MMA and pro wrestling with special guests and listener call-ins. Visit WrestleBossLive.com Tuesday nights at 7 p.m. Pacific to listen live or call in with questions or download the show on podcast platforms on Wednesdays. Wednesday nights live on Facebook, it's Spanish show La Mesa de los Márgaros, giving you both the news and the chisme from around the lucha world. Special guests and a whole lot of fun make it one of the most talked about shows in Mexico. Thursdays, it's Straight Out of the Bodega with Papo Esco and PWR promoter Gabriel Ramirez, as they have guests from throughout the wrestling world pull up to give an inside look into their careers. From indie standouts to television superstars, each week brings a new name and perspective. On Friday, it's your double dose of Lucha Central Weekly podcast, one in English y el otro en español. Lucha Central Weekly is where you'll find all the top stories of the week, both inside and out of the ring from Mexico and anywhere luchadores are in action across the globe. Be sure to subscribe and follow all your favorite Lucha Central Network series on your favorite podcast platforms, either by their own series name or subscribe to the Lucha Central Podcast Network show pages to get all of the shows in one easy feed. And please consider giving a rating to help more fans find the shows that you love. For now, this is Denise Salcedo signing off from Lucha Central. Have a great week.
You don't know what it's like. Go ahead.
Thanks, Denise. That was super duper awesome. And by the way, your IG is kind of creeping me out this week. And that's all I'm going to say about that. Yeah, you agree? Meatloaf agrees. Anyway.
Nice change of pace. Her creeping you out.
Yeah, things change, man. Sometimes the wind blows Denise. Sometimes the wind blows Red Velvet. I don't know. Just depends on the day.
Always blows Thunder Rosa.
Oh, dude, that's the most delicious of cakes.
Oh, and we are definitely going to talk about some Thunder Rosa today. I talked to Mel earlier this week. I know everyone is speculating a lot of stuff. We'll talk about that in a little bit. But first, I want to get to another one of our polls because you, the denizens of deliciousness, had an opportunity to vote. And I hope you all exercised it because this poll, I think, says something about Meatloaf and Meatloaf's ability to manipulate the interwebs. Maybe. I don't know. What do you think? Byron, let's see that poll. What are we at here with your favorite luchador for 2020? Our favorite luchador for 2020 is not Flamita, 1.4% of the vote. And this poll got considerably more votes. It's not Bandito. Bandito, the Ring of Honor thing is almost tragic at this point. I really kind of wish Bandito.
Bandito that was the worst bit. He was there first, but
I just hope Homeboy's alive, man.
I feel like it was
he's in his restaurant now.
It was a good call when he did it, and it's a terrible choice now.
Yeah,
I mean, what are you going to do?
It's a good idea for like doing a 2-year thing, but then he re-signed, and it was just like, no, don't re-sign.
Also,
like, Russia's fucked off as well now. Russia's like, nah, fuck that shit.
But what do you think? I mean, if Bandito was in AEW, would it be a better scenario right now?
Oh my God, Bandito, Jesus Christ! The guy is honestly, you could put him straight into WWE in the title picture against fucking.
What would they? Is my point. Like if he was if he was in AEW, or if he was in, like when he went to Ring of Honor, I was like, okay, this is a chance to at least see this guy perform, like for real. Even though he won't get the spotlight, nobody will really be talking about it. Like his matches will still be fire. But if he goes to AEW, I mean, if he went to AEW right now, he'd be under Jack and Angelico. I don't know that he'd be doing anything.
Talent-wise, he should be on the very top. Him and Fenix should be at the very top of.
You know, first of all, Penta not being on this list, we're going to talk about votes. I got a caucus for all of you right here that didn't put Penta on this. I refuse to vote in this poll. Good night.
Well, now, were there some write-ins? Did anybody write in Penta? Let me look here.
I don't read the comments on our post because, quite frankly, our audience disgusts me.
We got write-ins for Dynastia and Black Taurus. That's about it.
Okay, you know what? Dynastia actually deserves to win. Black Taurus just rules. But
Black Taurus is super entertaining. Would not consider Black Taurus to be Luchador of the Year, however.
See, like Dynastia is like one of those wrestlers that every time I see a match, I'm like, oh my God, this rules. I need to talk about it, but then I forget. So yeah, I think a new gimmick is in order that looks a little cooler. And then people will be like, oh shit.
Well, yeah, it's like he's having great matches, but the impact of those, you know, is suspect. But that's the same issue that Bandito is having a little bit too. It's like, you know, and this is why you need good booking, you need storylines, you need good TV time, you need a good promotion. And
honestly, though, that was Aerostar's trajectory for like 37 years. So I can't hate too much, you know? We're still cheering him.
But honestly, I think if he was somewhere like TNA, he would be quite far up there, and he'd be on TV, and that would probably put him in a better position if he went to an.
You know what? Bandito at Impact would be dope. And Dynastia Impact would be dope.
I would rather have Bandito back in New Japan personally.
That would be awesome too.
Yes. He needs to get in that Super Juniors. But
what were you going to say, Byron?
Speaking of Impact, that just reminds me back when I think the last time Penta was really featured best as singles competitor, because they brought him in, he got a run on top, but they also kept that sort of mystic sort of appeal to him, and his promos, his vignettes were they're almost in a way borrowing from the Lucha Underground thing, but he just looked like superhuman, like extra, like bigger than life at Impact, and it made him look super awesome, like a bigger star. I feel if AEW gave Penta a run like that, and they gave him promos where they gave him all like the spooky special effects and stuff, then he would top the list for sure. It's just, I mean, I don't. It's hard. Like, are you just gonna?
It's almost like AEW can't write themselves out of a fucking paper bag. Is that what you're trying to say, Byron?
No, not at all. I'm saying that Penta has just that extra presentation available to his character, and it's almost like a waste to.
I mean, look, Penta. Here's the weird thing about Penta to me. He seriously is just right back where he was when he was in AAA. He's this really great standout mid-card guy that never really gets anything booked. He just goes in circles, feuding with the same guys, kind of doing the same matches. He's kind of back in that rut. Sadly, I feel like he's actually very comfortable there. He's a guy that's always liked putting over other people. He doesn't have any issue with putting over other people at all. Never has had a big ego from anything I've ever heard. He likes to go out there, do his matches, do his work. He'll take big bumps when he has to, but doesn't doesn't play it fast and loose too much anymore. He doesn't try to do super stupid risky stuff unless it really has a point, and he's kind of a little bit in this journeyman wrestler phase of his career, and maybe he's fine with that. I, however, believe that you get anyone that can write for him just a little bit, or that tries to, and he's going to go through the roof. The character is over. The moveset is over. He has the work rate when he wants it. And, he could be literally the top guy. He could be like what Kenny Omega was 2 years ago, where he had literally the respect of anyone who watched and liked wrestling, whether he was their guy or not. Like, there was nobody 2 years ago that was going to be like, oh yeah, Kenny Omega sucks. Nobody. Didn't matter if you liked watching him or if you were watching New Japan or whatever. You knew he was a top guy wherever he was. Pentagon could be that guy too, but somebody's got to book him that way. He's got to have the opportunities.
I think the thing is, now he's making super good money. He's supporting his family. He's doing well. And he knows what he has to do to work. Like, he knows what he has. There's a level he's got to work at to keep his job. Yeah. And he's working at that level because it's career longevity at this point.
Yeah, I mean, the tag team situation definitely is super
he's stuck in the tag team thing.
But he's also a very team player guy. He's not the guy that's going to be backstage lobbying for some big push. He's just not that guy. And there's a lot of guys that aren't that,
No, especially at the expense of his brother.
Yeah. And maybe it is Rey Fenix's time to shine, who I believe probably should have won this poll, though I do have to admit that, what did Rey Fenix get here? Rey Fenix got 26.4% of the vote, pretty sizable chunk, and was leading at one point in this poll. Rey Fenix is a phenomenal standout talent.
Top five in the world, if not top one for me.
Yeah,
probably the best.
Best
wrestler in the world right now.
Right, and he is not necessarily getting utilized that way. So I can see why he did not win this poll. He doesn't have a belt. He hasn't had a real run at the top in a while. He's coming in and out of several promotions. I think he's just kind of getting his feet underneath him in AEW somehow, like a year and a half later from when they were doing, just the pay-per-view specials with AEW to a full year of TV, his runs in AAA and whatnot. Like, somehow everyone knows he's the guy, but no one has put him in there as the guy since really this first season of Lucha Underground that we've been going back and watching. Yeah, that was the last time he was really the guy, and you could tell he was getting a tremendous push.
He did get that match against Nick Jackson.
Yeah.
At the beginning, which, I mean, there wasn't much of a storyline or build for.
But he should be feuding with Cody. He should be feuding with, Kenny. He should be feuding with literally the top guys in AEW.
He should be ultimate Drago in him. He should be carrying some serious gold. He should have the Mega Championship, the AEW belt.
Yeah.
So, honestly, that's
what that tournament, AAA,
Drape him in gold.
Early COVID tournament that they taped.
Yeah. Well, what they should do, honestly, is they should call up Conan. They should do a deal for Kenny to drop the Mega Championship to Phoenix. Let Kenny have the AEW gold. Let Phoenix represent the AAA gold up there in AEW. Why not? Get their belt on TV. He's still one of their guys. He's still signed to AAA too. So he can come back down there when things open back up. They can get their belt on TV. It gives AEW a little something fun to work with. Maybe they have him drop it to Penta for a couple of weeks and then Phoenix pick it back up, or, put Jack and Angelico in there and mix it up with some of the other AAA performers, their former performer. Well, Conan probably wouldn't go for that because Dorian probably wouldn't go for that. But beside the point, there's things that they could do, and they need to give Phoenix some kind of push. But let me get to our winner of this particular poll, because I have a feeling one of us has something to say about this. The winner with an overwhelming 60.1% in a landslide victory, Santos Escobar, the artist formerly known as El Hijo del Fantasma, formerly known as King Cuerno. Santos Escobar takes away the crown on this one. And it might have to do with the fact that the man actually retweeted this one himself, didn't he?
Yes.
Yes.
And I sent it out to the Fantasmaniacals.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like, any WWE star gets a hold of a web poll, it's probably going to help its chances of him winning. Though we have another poll later that we'll talk about that.
It's a pretty dope mask.
Thank you. Thank you. Look at the back.
Meef, did you?
I gotta get a real head to put this on, but still waiting it for her to arrive from Mexico.
Meef, who's the owner of the Rey Mysterio HDF mask from Halloween Havoc? Who got that?
No. That's actually the Rey Mysterio mask from '97.
Oh, he actually had the real one.
He didn't wear it to the ring. No, what he wore on the entrance was a Day of the Dead mask.
Yeah, see, that bothered me, by the way, a lot because
I couldn't tell.
But they did some really bad lighting.
Yeah,
and then took it off as
he took it off too soon. He should have left it on longer.
Yeah, but he's also so handsome. It's like, what are you gonna do?
So handsome, get that mask off his face.
They actually wrestled in with the original '97 Halloween Havoc tights, and Rey Mysterio actually sent him down the entire suit.
Does he have to get back?
I mean,
do you want it back?
I want it back.
I want it. I was like,
I forget. Meef is the guy who will actually wear worn ring attire in his bedroom.
No. I keep it. Luchadors have worn it. That's it. That's respect now.
How come
I never wear a mask like they've worn?
There's no tights over your shoulder. How come?
All right, so Meatloaf, here's my question. So whatever, Escobar won this poll. More power to him for winning this poll, for winning the popular vote here. But do you believe, in your heart of hearts, Meatloaf, that Santos Escobar is a better luchador than Rey Fénix? That's my real question. Even if you take it back to Phantasma Fénix days, like who's the better of the two? I know I'm putting you on the spot.
He just called Fénix the number one in the world. He did not call HDF that.
In terms of in-ring ability, currently Fénix is better.
True.
Phantasma is a better performer in terms of the promo and actually the way he carries his body in the ring.
100%. Like his promos on NXT recently, where he's coming in and out of English, and the way he fired up on Swerve, and like he is, I would say Fénix is the better worker. Phantasma might be the better performer at this particular.
It's kind of like comparing Arnold Schwarzenegger and like.
Yeah, very different styles. Very different styles.
For me, shit. I've forgotten all action. I forgot all actors of all time now who are really good.
Like Dolph Lundgren. Dolph Lundgren's really good. No, Jan-Michael Vincent. Jan-Michael Vincent's really good.
I just like that his favorite actor of all time is Arnold Schwarzenegger.
No. I was going to say because to me, Rey Fénix is kind of like Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Commando?
He's like ridiculously good at action.
Does that mean he doesn't wear underpants?
Whereas Phantasma's more like a classic actor,
like Al Pacino.
And it's like an Al Pacino versus Schwarzenegger. You love Schwarzenegger, and everybody loves Commando, greatest film of all time.
Wow, Fénix!
Hey, Jenny, can we get Fénix to do a video saying, when I said I'd kill you last, I lied.
You know when I would kill you last, I lied. Yeah.
Come on, don't deny yourself the pleasure. Put a knife in me.
Chili cheese Jenny. Best for podcasts.
Sounded a little too erotic there, Meef.
George.
MMMshow, the premier mukbang.
Oh, you're eating something? Well, hey, guess what, guys? Autumn is in the air. No, not that. Guess what? Autumn is in the air, and Manscaped is here.
I'm sorry. Did you guess what?
Did you guess what, Justin?
I know. I did guess what. What is Stone Cold
in the air, Justin? So maybe you could tell Stone Cold about some of these ball shavers.
Yeah, well, Manscaped is here to ensure that you don't carve your pumpkins when you're grooming. And by pumpkins, I actually mean your balls, Steve. Your balls.
Thank you.
In fact, Manscaped is on a mission to change the way you approach caring for your balls. And great news, they just released all the products in the UK, Canada, and Australia. So that means you too, Meef, can be as clean as Stone Cold.
Well, what kind of products do they have, you mealy mouth bastard?
Well, they've got the Lawnmower 3.0.
What?
I said the Lawnmower 3.0. Best trimmer, offers replaceable ceramic blades, advanced skin-safe technology, helps reduce all those little grooming accidents, in case you got your knee brace on. All right, and then they got the new weed whacker.
What?
We need to be whacked.
I'm just gonna get whatted this whole time, aren't I, Steve? God damn it! How do you deal with this in a live crowd? It's an ear and nose trimmer. You know, it's got skin safe technology and all that stuff. Ceramic plates. It's safe for your nose. And then there's the crop care kit, which includes the crop preserver ball deodorant.
What?
No, the crop care kit. God damn it.
Price check on a crop care deodorant.
Well, if you act now, you can get it for 20% off with code MMM, Steve. and free shipping.
Let me tell you something there, Justin. Byron came over to my house and he said, you know what, Steve? I think we can be a team. I think we can be partners. And I looked at him and I said, DTA, you stupid piece of trash. Don't ever trust nobody. You'll never be my partner because you're a bald-haired freak and you suck.
You know what else we got, Steve?
What else we got, Justin?
We got the crop cleanser body wash.
You know, if there's one thing I can't stand, it's when somebody smells like a stinky pair of balls.
Okay. Yeah. You got to wash
line.
It. And you can also use that on your hair. Then we've also got the crop mop ball wipes.
No, I can't, Justin.
No, Steve. Well, you can't use that on your hair, can you? All right. You've got the crop mop ball wipes. You can use those, right?
Yeah.
Polish his head.
Deborah used to make me wear it. Deborah wishes I had those. So did Lady Blossom. No one remembers her.
Oh, my God. How about the foot duster, Steve? You need foot duster? That's the stuff that keeps your feet smelling good.
Of the foot duster was Carrie Von Erich.
Useful when stumping a mud hole.
I bet it is.
Also, Tony Atlas. You see, sometimes I stomp a mud hole and I walk it dry, but it's so dry that my feet stink. So maybe I need some of this foot duster, son.
What about the crop cleanser? We already talked about crop cleanser. Listen, all these items are formulated. They're completely vegan, cruelty-free, dye-free, sulfate-free, paraben-free. So you know your manhood. Guyans, your bulls. Huevos. They're in good hands.
Well, I'm so glad that they're paraffin penguin-free, Justin. I don't know what the fuck that means.
It means they're safe for your skin, your body, and your politics.
Are they safe for my balls?
Yes, 100% safe for your balls.
For my testicles.
Listen, Mr.
For my cojones.
Yeah, those. So, if you act now, you go over there, www.manscaped.com. That would have been a good time for what, Steve? www.manscaped.com. You can get 20% off and free shipping with code MMM. That's 3 M's. MMM.
Code MMM, huh?
That's it.
If you all want Steve's carpet to match the drapes, give me a hell yeah.
Oh, hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
Oh, hell yeah.
All right, we got to get to the Lucha Rewind this week. We're looking
First off, real quick. I bought the foot duster. I bought the nose hair trimmer. Both of them are amazing fucking products, and I cannot recommend them enough, to the point where I had to break being Stone Cold Steve Austin. I'm sorry for you audio listeners. He wasn't really here in studio, but I got to tell you, that foot duster is the shit. I wear dress shoes all the time. Those are ventilated like butt because I wear cheap ones. Yeah, and let me tell you, that foot duster, I smell like roses when I take those shoes off. Actually, I smell like nice tea tree oil.
Oh, that's kind of good.
The nose thing is now available in the UK as well. $39.99.
And available in Australia.
Don't forget our cousins up there in the 51st state of Canada. They can get stuff too. Like all those hockey player guys that Byron likes so much.
What's up?
Oh, dude, yeah. It's time for them to get rid of that crotch mullet they got going on.
I wonder if the Lawnmower 3.0 could do something about Byron's facial, the Duck Dynasty thing. Are you going somewhere with that, Byron? Like,
that's actually an riding his face.
I don't see it unless I'm in front of a mirror, so I just forget to shave.
And all the mirrors in his house are broken, like he's Frankenstein or some shit. And Dude, I'm saying this as your friend. You're approaching ZZ Top territory.
Yeah, it's frightening. So, it's a little scary.
I'm thinking. I mean, I just at this point I forgot.
Braid it.
My face.
Braid it, Brian. Put a nice little braid in the middle of it.
I braided my other hair for a while.
Your pubic hair?
My hair on my
hair.
Oh. Well, I'll tell you what.
Shitloads of diamonds.
I ordered some of the crop mop ball wipes because I'm gonna be on the go a lot. You know, things happen when you're out on the go and you're out on the road. So and Thunder Rosa has promised that she's gonna wingman for me. So I figure I need to have those in my kit.
Well, let me tell you something, Justin. I'll wingman for you anytime you want to punch a lady. Now give me a hell yeah.
Nope. Not going to do it. I'm going to go on to the Lucha Underground Rewind this week because we got to look back at season 1, episode 25. Wow, 25 episodes we've done since we brought the show back, guys. Because we started all over from the very beginning of Lucha Underground. And
isn't there an unwritten rule that we don't reference Stone Cold beating women anymore because he's so friendly on his podcast?
That's what it does.
I don't know what you're talking about. I thought Stone Cold was here talking himself.
I only ever bring it up to shut people up about things.
Oh man, look, let's be honest. There's a lot of people in wrestling that are just diabolical people in real life. It's just sad.
Yeah, Carl Anderson.
Holy smokes!
Hold on.
Dun, 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 dun.
So. This episode is called The Way of the Drago. The Huevos of the Drago. I think this is a little homage entitled to Bruce Lee, obviously.
I made a poster of Enter the Dragon called Enter the Dragon.
Well, you see,
Bruce Lee pun?
It was a Bruce Lee pun. Yes, Byron. You see, Enter the Dragon is known as Way of the Dragon in the UK.
And
they should have spelled it.
Knew that.
I did that. Yeah, with the nunchucks and everything.
They had the opportunity to spell way Guey and didn't do it, and that is such bullshit. So what happens when you get a bunch of white people running the show?
But shout out to Skip Chasen. If you haven't heard our interviews with him, he's the guy who directed all the vignettes and came up with a lot of the stuff. The cinematic godfather of wrestling is what I like to call him these days. Go back and check out those interviews. He talks quite a bit about Bruce Lee and Drago and some of these segments. And we also did an interview with Drago a little while back. So check those out too if you want a little more insight into it. But they are both huge, real Bruce Lee fans, and this is a little homage to that in the title.
I have decided us three, not Byron, because Byron.
I know everything.
Be water.
It's us three plus Skip Chasen need to make a samurai movie.
Yeah,
I'm sorry, I'm the only one here who actually makes movies, and you want?
Yeah, but you can't make a samurai movie.
I can make a samurai movie.
I can make a samurai claymation movie before you could make a movie about samurais.
Why don't you?
Can't be asked.
I've got a best answer ever.
That should be a shirt. Just can't be arsed.
That's beautiful. I've got a samurai movie sitting, Byron. If you want to take a crack at directing, it's called Nakitsura. That means the tearful face. It's like a prison tear samurai Ronin movie.
I want to do. Yeah, I'm down. I want to do some sort of. I don't even know. Just a mixture of all the best genres with Paul.
About a sailor.
I have a samurai movie for you, Byron. It's called
kicked off his shoulders.
It's called Tamaga Kayuina, which is Japanese for my balls itch, and it is
my balls itch.
We're doing that segment still.
Nope.
Yes,
this is a whole different thing. Listen,
speaking of movies, I've watched all 4 IP months this week.
All the Ip Man?
Or Ip Man, whichever you want to say, you know.
Are you serious?
No, see, IP Man was my old job.
Right.
Ip Man is the martial artist.
IP Man
is
I'm obsessed with old Chinese folklore heroes, so I was very happy to find out about Ip Man.
Yeah.
I'm very much a big fan of him too.
Have you watched the 5 Deadly Venoms yet, Meef?
Yes.
That's true.
Okay, good.
Oh, no, sorry. I apologize. That is on Netflix now. I need to watch it.
It is on Netflix. They just call it the 5 Venoms there, but it's the same movie.
Yeah.
Movie. I don't think it's edited at all. Anyway, listen, season 1, episode 25, The Way of the Drago, vignette number 1. Dario chews out the crew, and they deserve it because they're the crew. I don't know. I just like the fact that he points out that they lost to 2 losers and a girl with 1 leg.
He goes up to the crew. Hold on. He goes up to the crew and says, "Hey, do you guys know what a layup is?"
Yeah.
I thought that was a bit
awesome.
I think they should know what basketball is.
Why?
Why, Byron?
Because of the Lakers and the Clippers.
Because of their height? They're not very tall guys, Byron.
Yeah, but everyone knows about basketball, no way.
We have some height things to discuss.
Jerseys.
Look, basketball is not about racial divides or geographic locations. It's purely about height. And those guys are not
entertaining
tall.
people who are mindlessly entertaining because they're terrible. I can't believe it's classed as a sport.
What? I didn't know you had some kind of aversion to the hoops game. Hoops is awesome.
It's just it's netball.
I will admit,
I know people like basketball because it's just one guy goes at the end, scores maybe 3 points. Then
but you're missing the point, me. If you're watching all the parts that don't matter. All you need to know is that the last 4 minutes of Game 7 of the finals is the best sporting moment of the year. And other than that, you don't necessarily need to watch the rest of the season.
A bit. Oh, you mean like when I watched the Super Bowl?
No, the Super Bowl is a different story.
Can we say Super Bowl? Is they're copyrighted? Maybe I should censor that.
If it's Super Space Bowl, like you're talking about a bowl of weed or something, it's fine.
No, I think you should. I think you should censor it, Byron, because people will think Meef's talking about watching like a Lars Sullivan movie or something.
Oh,
Lars Sullivan.
He got some camera time this week. Anyway, no, speaking of not that yet, because we'll get to that too.
Something he did in his interview. They're like, "What do you want to do to SmackDown?" He's like, "I want to promise SmackDown a lifetime of like shame and embarrassment or something." It's like, bro, look, and you're already doing that to one person.
The interview where he said that he did a school shooting or something. There was a high school massacre.
Yeah,
I've not watched it personally, but everybody commented about the high school massacre, and I was like, "What the fuck have I missed here?"
I don't know. They're off their crock with that whole thing. I don't think it's going anywhere. And this is where COVID does a disservice to wrestling, because if there was any kind of live audience right now, WWE would be getting the message loud and clear that Lars Sullivan is not over. It's not going to be over, and it is a snooze fest, even regardless of his
retribution. When there's real fans and retribution has to be over. Oh,
see, when Lars started in NXT and he was doing the gimmick where he was beating up his tag partner when that guy would lose, I thought that was funny, and I thought he was doing well then. And then he kind of had a couple good showings in some like 4-man, like some big match main events, and so he did all right. And then you find out everything about him, but like all the background, drama aside, all that stuff aside, he just isn't interesting as a single star.
No, he's not. All right, look. We've gone off track here. I got to talk about Lucha Underground.
We got Lucha review.
Anyway, Phoenix versus Killshot. This match is great. Think about if you had this match right now. This would headline any pay-per-view. This match was awesome.
Chish does look taller in this as well, though. Just to prove it. But I swear the ring ropes on that place must be small.
Maybe. I don't know. But these guys, it just was just super good. I'm pretty sure this is the first time they ever met under any circumstances, right?
Probably, yeah.
I mean, they did a handshake at the beginning. It was kind of a knowing look. I feel like these guys worked out in the ring a bit together before this because they looked well oiled the whole time.
Mm-hmm. Wait, are we skipping to the main event?
No, and that's the funny part because we're talking about Phoenix versus Killshot, and this could main event anywhere right now. And this was like a throwaway match on this episode of Lucha Underground.
The main event started the same way too with the handshake.
But this was, this had a nice lucha feel to start out. Mm-hmm. Swerve was still working his indie style, but it fit perfectly with Phoenix. And this should have been the clue right here that Phoenix was going to do great after Lucha Underground out on the indies, because he took an indie guy like Swerve, who's got some ups and can run around, but doesn't necessarily work Lucha Libre and hadn't worked Lucha Libre much in his career at all. And he made Swerve look great. Like these two guys, going back and watching this now, I'm just like, I'm not surprised that I love these guys now because of this. This match was just amazing.
Yeah,
unfortunately, there's a big drop off. Swerve
was good, but at this stage, he was, especially at the time we're watching, very obviously green. He was pretty loose, and he just was a little reckless with his moves, and which is great because you have him throw those kicks like Steph and Phoenix, and then Phoenix is like, guess what? I do the same thing,
dude. Look, every spin kick in this match was fire. Yeah, I mean they were all super good.
Yeah.
But look, to me, honestly, even with what you got, with a little bit of slop on Swerve, Phoenix, I think, fixed almost all of it. I still think this match right here would be better than 85% of the headlining matches in wrestling in the past year.
It's probably better than anything AW's to put out in a year.
Yeah. Well, I mean, this was just good stuff. I was very happy with this one. And the Fire Driver as...
Fire Thunder Driver.
Fire Thunder Driver. Thank you.
Matt didn't call it the Fire Thunder. He calls it the Fire Driver, it's called the fucking Fire Thunder. Me and Byron know.
That was my question. I was like, why does that sound wrong? What is he saying that is not right about that? Because that's not the right move. But he said it with such conviction that I just believed him because it's Striker.
Yeah, you should stop that.
Yeah, probably. I should have stopped that about 4 or 5 years ago.
I love how the Striker, though, still, like, he's like, you could tell, especially after talking to Conan about Vampiro's sort of commentator tendencies. Vampiro would say something like Conan and a small brain, blah, 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 blah. And Striker will just be kind of like, well, agree to disagree, moving on.
Yeah.
There's a bit later on when he does Hernandez does an intestine buster or something. And Vampiro's is like, is that really what it's called? And it is now.
Shit. The intestine buster.
Breaker. Y2J Codebreaker, Vince McMahon move.
But anyway, yeah, Fire Driver wins. Clean win over Killshot, who is the newer guy here. Good, though. He's not on total jobber status, but he certainly shouldn't be winning over the guy that they've invested half the season in so far.
Yeah.
Because clearly Phoenix has been getting a push. And they referenced that push, too, with his big wins over Mil Muertes and others.
I don't expect Matt Striker to be smart enough of a fan to know who Mr. Ganosuke is, let alone the name of his move. So we'll just move along. Paper champion Matt Striker.
You know who had a great
still bitter.
Rikishi had a great Fire Thunder Driver.
He did, because he's got a huge fucking ass.
You're right.
Bam Bam Bigelow had a great,
great
one. Greetings from Ashbury Park.
Yeah, he had a great one, but he also, like, sometimes the head would miss the mat by like 1.5 feet.
Yeah, but Bam Bam also ended up changing it to the big ending pretty much.
Okay.
Yeah, so
I know when it's a triad.
Yeah, they changed it a little bit. They were a little worried he might actually drop someone on their head.
But nobody ever got, I remember that whole shakeup, but did he ever actually drop someone? Was there ever a reason why Bam Bam got all that shit for that move?
Bam Bam's been nothing but like professional and like a good wrestler.
Yeah,
like,
I'm trying to think if there's anyone that he didn't protect at some point, and I can't think of any big Bam Bam botches ever.
It could have just been because he lost weight and he didn't have the ass padding to keep doing it.
Also,
maybe
he worked a program in WCW with Goldberg, and I could see.
I would have dropped Goldberg in his head anyway, just out of
Goldberg saying, I don't want to do that. I don't want to
just like Undertaker, just like the Undertaker.
Yeah, I'll give Undertaker some props for that. I would have made sure I did some concrete though.
Bill wasn't exactly fond of taking a lot of moves, but that's because Bill didn't know what a lot of those moves were.
Taking moves, wasn't fond of doing moves.
He's a football player. What did he know?
When Goldberg first started, he had a cool move set. It was actually
he had an actual move set, is what you mean.
Yeah, he was like he had a cool hybrid MMA moveset before it was cool, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, he had a pretty good like rolling ankle lock that was legit, but he stopped doing it because it wasn't as over.
An assortment of cool power slams, but then it's like, okay, if you
he did some moves and some fans didn't react to it, so he got upset because he's quite precious, isn't he, Mr. Goldberg?
Well, when you're getting that kind of push for the entire beginning of your career for like 4 years straight, where you get to win every single night you're on television, it kind of does that.
I'll never forgive them for letting him beat Raven.
Look, the storyline worked on TV, though, man. It all worked on TV. It may not have made Bill Goldberg into a super awesome human being, but it certainly worked for television. Vignette number 2A. Dario busts into the bathroom and tells Drago, "Oh, I thought I'd find you here because
this is where you live."
Drago was in there spanking it as usual.
That's problematic. You can't get away with that in today's environment. You can't have a boss just barging in the bathroom on his employees anymore.
No, it's a public bathroom, isn't it? It's an open bathroom. The stalls.
You know what's weird is we've been calling Daivari the piss queen this whole time, when really, maybe it's.
But maybe that's why Drago was in there. Maybe he was filling up Daivari's cup.
Maybe he actually makes some money on the side, handing out mints and giving hand wash.
Maybe his tongue's that long because it's cleaning the urinals out, and that's why it's all black and gross, because that bathroom's nasty.
I think it's Meef's idea, though, that it's more that he's doing concessions on the side, like many of the performers at Lucha Underground were known to do. Except he's selling Daivari drinks out of his trunk instead of gimmicks.
You wash your hands and he hands you a paper towel and you have to tip him $2 for it.
Spray them with some green mist.
It's not like there was a whole bunch of Lucha Underground merch for them to make money off of.
Someone told us, it was Roach or DJ told us that Drago is always in a bathroom because of the cool tile,
cold floor.
Yeah, he's cold.
DJ said it's good for his skin.
Will say that Drago drinks a lot of coffee.
Yeah,
he does like coffee. He does
a
like
caffeine.
Oh, that's why his tongue's all black, because he drinks so much coffee. It's like stained. Yeah,
gross. Anyway, Dario says you will thank me for this later. I don't believe that that's true.
No.
What happened in the toilet?
Dario's kind of full of BS here. And then vignette 2B, we go to a commercial break and come right back. So on video, if you're watching it on Tubi or any edited version, you won't see a commercial there. So we roll into Dario talking to Puma about not to get in his feelings about Drago, and then Hernandez, we go kind of right into on the other side of the locker room. Hernandez rolls up, salty about getting thrown into a three-way with Cuerno and Cage, which is rightfully so. And so Dario is like, Hernandez, he's a big guy with little tiny baby nuts. So I'll go along with him right now, and I will I'll make it a number one contenders match. So there you go, Hernandez. You get to be in a number one contenders match instead of just having your ass whooped by two guys that don't like you.
Baby Nuts hasn't started yet, though, has it?
Not yet.
But I got to tell you, watching this segment,
it's a lifestyle, not a one-off, Byron.
Hernandez just, to me, watching this show back, he comes across as such a star on Lucha Underground.
Oh, yeah.
Like he's
swag.
I mean, he's toe-to-toe with Dario, like, acting-wise.
Hernandez?
Yeah.
Oh, because I thought you were talking about Puma for a second there. I was going to be like, what?
No.
Puma is there.
Puma is there.
Listening to the new guy get to talk on camera, and he still can't.
But don't you think that that's part of why Hernandez looks so good right here is because Puma was in the middle of this segment? You got Drago even gets to talk in this episode, and Puma doesn't.
Yeah, no, but I think they're doing.
Drago doesn't even speak English.
It's.
Yeah, and he gets to talk in English.
Yeah. No, I mean, I also think as far as like cinematic style, the presentation of the show, they really had it honed in, and they're doing really well with that. So they're able to show people at their best, which is probably also why they're still not letting Puma talk, because they wanted to show him at his best.
His best. Well, speaking of showing people at their best, now it's time for the Penta Victims match, featuring all the biggest stars in Lucha Underground, the superheroes of Lucha Underground, the guys that make the entire promotion go round, the people that keep this business afloat. Vinny Massaro, Argenis, Ricky Mandel, and Famous B. Top names.
I love it.
I kid, because I actually love all of these guys. And this is, I feel so bad for them that this is the moment that they get. Like, They all had their arms broken. They're all limping back into the ring after Pentagon has pretty much decimated their will to live. And they don't even get to actually even have the match of scrubs.
Not even a lockup.
I was cool with that, except that Pentagon wasn't the one that ran in and beat the shit out of him. That was my problem.
It's Tejano mad about piss drinking Davari.
It would have been so funny to have Pentagon come in and chase him off with a stick or something.
Like, these are my victims.
I got rid of you kids.
I loved it though. I mean, whatever about the Davari angle, but this was the first time I think Tejano came in as like the blue collar brawler, sort of Stone Cold, AAA Stone Cold gimmick. AAA Stone Cold gimmick, which
made every pop.
It was good. The crowd popped too. He had great energy. The promo was good in English and in Spanish, mostly Spanish, but it was well done. He didn't swear, which is amazing. He might have sworn all the way to the ring, but as soon as he had the hot mic on, somehow Tejano did not swear with the hot mic.
Didn't Casey?
They were also still letting kids into Lucha Underground back then, by the way.
Yeah. Didn't we learn a phrase, something about like, I'm going to split you in two in Spanish?
No, I'm going to separate you from your mother.
Yeah. And then separate your mother.
Yeah.
That's something really, really foul. Tejano, for those who don't know, when he's running across the ring, especially when he's doing rope running spots, he likes to say really, really bad expletives. Like,
he's yelled
he will
at me
curse
before.
you back into your mother's womb and then have sex with it. It's terrible.
He
like the
yelled
things
at
that he
me,
says
but
are
all he said to me was, "Oh, Cerro Miedo, huh? Look at this," and then he lost the match.
Which is good stuff.
Another one in the win column for Casey. Just like how Prince Puma lost that loser leaves match. Who's getting Cerro Miedo now, you little bitch?
Now, so my question here is, with two white guys, a Mexican and Famous B in the ring, how come Famous B is the one that has to get power bombed? Just asking. These are just questions. Exercise your right to vote, people.
Well, I mean, it is. We have been noting how Lucha Underground is operating due to how do I say this the best way? To genre conventions. So
you're saying since it's on a channel with a bunch of horror movies, the black guy has to die first, is what you're
correct.
saying.
Correct.
Okay, first of
all, it makes sense.
That's not at all to what I'm saying.
It's the laws of science fiction horror. It's totally okay, Byron. It's not you.
But not anymore. Not anymore. You know what? You know who you have to thank for that? You have to thank
Will Smith.
Kincaid from surviving Nightmare on Elm Street 3. Sure, he was the first one to die in part 4, but he made it all 3. Also, Demon from Friday the 13th, part 5, played by the great Juana Man himself, Miguel Nunez.
Yeah, but then there was this thing where they switched everything around, like LL Cool J in that shark movie where he's the chef. They made the black guy the last to die all the time. And then like Ernie Hudson in Abyss or Deep Star 6 or whatever one that was, where he makes it all the way to the end and then dies at the last second. They just switched it around so that like the black guy just dies at the very end.
Let me tell you, fuck LL Cool J, because he didn't die in that shark movie. They made you think he was dead and he came back just like he did in Halloween H2O.
Oh, that's true. You're right.
See, that's not fair because now they're making them do twice as much work as all the other guy actors,
and probably still not paying them.
Then Byron,
I watched like the newest. I don't know. I was at a friend's house and I watched a new Texas Chainsaw Massacre. And I was very confused. It was an awful movie. I couldn't tell you even the plot.
They're still making those.
Casey will know the answer to 1,000%.
But I was like, how come this guy is the first one to die? How come this guy isn't getting killed yet? And he kept sticking around.
Like horror movie character who's black.
Candyman. Yeah.
Is he the only one?
Yeah.
No.
He's the best one.
He's the best one, but dude, first of all,
don't forget Eddie Murphy is Vampire in Brooklyn. Come on, man.
Let's not forget Blackula and Blackenstein.
Blackenstein was
Blackenstein is dope. The Blanche Black from Brocha Brain. That was a Simpsons joke. That's not a real movie.
No.
I gotta say, we're discussing black people in horror with a guy that made a horror movie with not one black person in it.
Yeah, I knew one, but I couldn't afford to fly him out from California to be in it.
And it wasn't me because Byron met me right after he finished that movie.
No, I had some extras that were, but
I gotta say, Justin died.
Suburbs of Pennsylvania.
Justin's death in Scanners in Transfer 6. Transfer 6 very late in the movie.
Yeah, I made it very far. I even got a line and everything. I'm credited as an actual actor. I'm not just an extra. We're not just extras anymore, Byron. We can die for real in movies. Listen, let's talk about
the only rapper he knows is Vanilla Ice.
So another thing, speaking of movies, that I found really great about this episode is how it's a very Dario and Dorian. I don't know if you noticed it.
Well, we get the debut of one of our favorites, my champion, Marty the Moth Martinez, who is playing basically. Here's where I feel bad, because you got Vinny Massaro in the match before this one, who doesn't get to do anything, and then Marty Martinez basically shows up and does what Vinny did in real life as a gimmick in the show.
Yeah,
how bad is there you slapping Vinny around in this episode? This is terrible.
I was thinking the same thing, but also me and Dario Cueto had this exact same conversation as well.
Okay, so it makes sense. But it's just funny because, if you guys haven't seen, go back to our last Vinny episode. He talks a little bit about how he got into Lucha Underground by basically, getting in good by showing up and just standing around until he finally got a job. And they let him have some, even though Chavo Guerrero tried to bury him. It is what it is, man. Not everybody can get over on day one. But then, Marty the Moth shows up with his I almost won but didn't win tough enough self. And, Evie Dub pushes him straight to the top, basically giving him Vinny Massaro's gimmick.
Well, Marty was supposed to be from the beginning, but he fucked himself up really bad on a dive in a dark match at the first taping.
Big surprise.
So this is him getting back after that. And so the fans were already ready to see him because they saw that happen.
Now, for those of you who don't know, if you go to see Marty do anything, if there's no camera on him is when you should be watching him the most. This guy bumps off camera and in dark matches more than he does on TV. It's amazing.
He definitely learned a lot and matured a lot as a performer on Lucha Underground, which you could see starting out where he became world champion. And he talked to us about that, how he learned to take the character in a certain way to have a better potential. But also, I feel, especially as he's beginning to hit the circuit again to start taking bookings, he's had a back injury. He's been hurt for a long time.
Yeah, he got that right before the last time I saw him and Cross at Maverick Wrestling.
And the Ultima Lucha 4, the last match that he did there with Penta, he had to go to the hospital. And then at the end of Ultima Lucha, or in Ultima Lucha 1, I think in a Battle Royal, he was off camera, you keep bringing up, and he's just doing headfirst bumps into the stairs. He should he has a lot of good character work.
Yeah,
he does, and maybe he could not try to shorten his career so much.
But it's part of what makes him, lovable and adorable. It's kind of like he's kind of the Tommy Dreamer kind of guy that he's going to go out there and do big dumb things at the behest of everyone else and volunteer to do them before anyone even asks him to. He's that kind of guy.
I love that. I love that guy. I love that guy so much, man.
I just say it out of concern and out of
Look, out of personal love and concern for him as a human being, Martin Casillas should definitely not throw himself around the way he does. But for me as a wrestling fan, being completely selfish, please, Marty, throw yourself out of a third-story window every time I see you, because the junk is just entertaining.
Yeah.
Look, man, all I got to say to Marty is whatever gives you a boner, bro. Don't listen to either of these guys.
I want to say, I do feel a special bond with Marty because I currently have some of his blood in my home.
Yeah.
And I feel that
my favorite Marty story is he comes out after winning the belt at Lucha Underground during season 4. And I'm backstage or whatever, and I see him, and he comes over. He's going towards the porta potties, and he's like, dude. And I'm like, oh, my God, I can't believe it. He's like, I told you. And then he goes to shake my hand and he just goes like this and he sticks his hand out and I shake his hand. It's his wet chonies from the match, inside out, that he just sticks in my hand.
If everybody remembers, they were as tiny as possible because that's what he's trying to do. He's trying to wear as little as possible as a joke.
It was so gross, though. I mean, there was still championship ball sweat right there in my hand. And then Marty just looks at me and just starts laughing. Then Cross and London walk by and they're just laughing hysterically. And then like Eva Lise walks by and she's pointing and laughing at me. And then Sonny Kiss is just shaking his head. And I'm just feeling like a complete ass clown. And I didn't keep them. I could have kept them, but at that point, I just handed them back to him and went about my business. And like, thanks, champ. Thanks. Congratulations.
Now, you know how you win that situation, Justin? You stuff those fucking things in your mouth like a champion.
No. What you do is right in front of him, you put them on.
I almost did that. But it was, it was the Ice Temple. Anyway. Stories aside, we've got the debut of Marty. Marty says his spirit animal is the moth and the temple is his destiny, and we shall see about that. Cage versus Cuerno versus Hernandez for the number one contender spot. Look, Hernandez looked really good in this match. This match was too short. It was going great. Hernandez doing the
five moves, he got 4 of them.
Yeah, like look, Hernandez doing the backwards skin the cat up the ring corner. That was dope. I was like, whoa, where Big Man got some ups. What happened? He could still move. Like his knees a little bit later in his Lucha Underground run weren't doing as well, but right here, he seems like he's in top form and he's running around. And I think they made this match short to protect him more than anything else.
You know why that happened to his knees? Because I Nancy Kerrigan'd him during the fucking Believers Backlash match. It just didn't make TV.
Because Hot Tub Guy zapped him in the balls with a belt a few times, and he's been ever since.
Oh no, that isn't the knee problem. That's the weenie problem.
Wow. I do like Stryker's commentary for just this one match.
Tell you, liar.
No, because Stryker says that maybe Cage got all jacked because of insecurities he had as a kid. He said Cage had a small penis. Basically, he said he had small man's complex. He said that Cage is yoked because of a Napoleonic complex in general, I think was what he was inferring.
He's not short. He's a relatively average size.
5'8".
I'd say he's more like 5'10".
No.
He's the same height as Melissa Santos. Really? When she's wearing heels. But when they stand side by side and she's like dressed normal, they are eye to eye.
But it's weird. He's the same size wide, though.
Dude, when we were backstage at what was it in Vegas, Byron? Yeah. Cage is back there. Like, he was the same size as like the small guys that are back there, and then Cross and Johnny Mundo walk up, and Cage looks like a dwarf, man. It was weird. Because in my mind, Cage was not that small, but he's that small.
Yeah. We're taller than a lot of those guys.
I'm like almost a half or 3/4 of a head taller than Cage. Super duper
picture
weird.
Of me and him, he's an inch taller max than me.
Wow.
And I'm 5'7".
That's just weird. Anyway, I like this match. Hernandez plants Cuerno for the win. The Marty the Moth run in where he gets destroyed was cool. Like, look, he got to run into the temple.
And Meef on commentary, they said that Cuerno lost because he's the little one. They said that on commentary. Yeah.
Which was funny because Cuerno looked the same size as Cage easily, which is funny. But
I did enjoy. We've talked about how sometimes Lucha Underground will do the same gimmick, the same sort of plot or story gimmick twice in an episode. Like they have two, they'll have 2 matches that are like they're settling blood feuds at the same show, and it's like, why you do this? But I thought it worked really well when they had run-ins to big matches twice on this show, because the first time Tejano comes in and he's a badass and he cleans house and he takes over. The second time, Marty the Moth runs in and just gets swatted out of it. The match continues. And I drop kick my corner.
Well, yeah, they're totally awesome. It was like Marty was running in to feed, and that was it. And then nobody fed to Tejano, and he just squashed whichever guy he could get his hands on. Yeah. But there was nobody running back in to try to get back on him at all. I like that. Vamp interviews the Trios champs. This was the segment that helped Ivelisse get over even more. Vamp questions at one point in time, like, hey, you're the Trios champs, but your leg's all busted up. Are you even going to be able to go? And all three of them answer that basically, you know, they don't like each other, but if it's time to fight, it's time to fight. And well, one of them said, well, we don't like each other, but if it's time to fight, it's time to fight. Put the lotion in the basket.
It's time to fuck me. I'd fuck me hard.
Super duper weird. And you hear a lot of Angelico. This is probably the most Angelico talks the entire time on Lucha Underground, I think.
He sounds English.
He sounded like if a Brit grew up on Venice Beach.
Yeah.
And that's the best I could possibly describe his tried
to do an American accent.
His weird Dutch Afrikaner stoner accent.
I think he sounds like when Dennis on Always Sunny tried to sound like Mel Gibson as an Australian. That's what Angelico sounds like.
Oh man, I still remember as a kid watching Mad Max with Mel Gibson dubbed. Nowadays, it's the version that he bought back where he redubbed himself or he put back the original audio. But when I was a kid, Mad Max did not exist in the States in Australian. It was dubbed into English.
His new dubbed version legally allowed to be released?
Well, a lot of things with Mel Gibson may be questionable legally. They changed it to be a little more conservative. Anyway, let's get to this title match. This is a phenomenal match.
Yes.
I had forgotten that this is probably one of my top, at least 10, maybe top 5 matches. This is the match to me that made me actually like the Puma character. That made me like, look, you're getting Ricochet versus Drago. This is a match that I would have loved to have seen even before Lucha Underground. These guys were both hot out there. And I don't think that Drago was getting enough credit in AAA at the time.
No, not at all. No.
Sorry, choking. I'm dying. Like, to me, the fact that the Lucha Libre of Puma, this is the first time I think you're really seeing it at all.
You know,
notice how none of us like to jump in and help Justin out.
No, I thought it was.
I'm just dying. Don't anybody say anything.
This is how I kicks.
I thought it was really good. I thought they meshed really well. There was a bit of a schmoz ending, but also, also like Puma beats Drago with his jobber finish, which I guess sort of makes sense, but also like cemented that Drago isn't on the main event. He isn't on that Puma.
He already got fucked up by Hernandez. They didn't want it to seem like Puma was being mean. They wanted it to look like he was reluctantly beating him. So he wasn't really trying enough to hit him with the move that he stole from the great Jack Evans from the heavens.
El Mejor Luchador en el Mundo.
Yeah, they wanted you to feel a little bit like it was a screw job, but I mean, I think they made the importance of Drago leaving feel better than the mask versus mask match.
That's
I mean,
true.
This felt like crap. They're retiring Drago, or like, I think at the time I thought like, oh, they've just got big plans for him in AAA right now. Maybe like his little run on Lucha Underground is actually getting him favor down there in Mexico, and they're going to like push him in the top main event. Little did I know that was completely wrong on many levels.
Well, it's funny because this aired the week before the tapings that I went to where he won his chance to come back.
Right.
So I'm just like, oh, well, that was fast. It
was kind of strange, but yeah, I look, it was a great match. The Destroyer with no ref there, I like that moment. So you feel like, Drago could have won this at some point in time.
Oh, and he got that like 5 count visual pin too. That's
that's always a big. This is good wrestling writing. Like whoever laid this out and agented this and came up with the storyline, this actually worked. Even for its, regular wrestling tropes that it had. What was the crazy crucifix small package arm breaker submission thing that Drago did? I have never seen this one before.
I thought he's done it.
No, it's one of the one he normally does. He's on his face when he does it. This was totally different. This was like a small package into an arm bar thing.
That was a dope move.
Yeah. Oh God, there's a name for it. Somebody a lot older than Drago does it.
I
can't remember who.
This Look,
this is anybody in their 20s.
But I'm just saying, look, this is one of the things about Drago. This guy has a ridiculous move set. And the amount of times that I have seen Drago perform, and then he still pulls out something that I've never seen him do before.
Oh, that's who I've seen do that move before. Gato Ever Ready.
Oh, him. I mean, not him.
Yeah.
I just always find it amazing. But look, the spinning pile driver for the win, secondary Puma move. It was a great move. Puma reluctantly wins. Conan's cheering, finish him, trying to put him in a body bag.
And he's like, no mercy, no mercy. And all I'm thinking of is, where do we go? My darling, my lovely. I'm all alone.
Where do we go? I'm not going to say
where do we go? How much time we got, guys?
Keep it going. No, don't keep it going. Anyway, we get a big thank you Drago chant. He walks out, and we get another. This is like the 6th or 7th or 20th vignette in this show. And Drago speaks, as we mentioned earlier, with "We will meet again." I'm pretty sure that's how he did it, right? We will meet again. And then Aerostar must have been back there playing with some aerosol cans, because then there's a giant fireball and something that sounded like flapping wings. Mm-hmm. Maybe Drago flew off. We don't know.
Is he a dragon?
I don't know.
He is. Confirmed. We asked him. He said yes.
Yeah. Listen, I've been watching the polls. This election is heating up. There are results starting to come in, and we've got some more results for you too right after this.
God damn it. I don't want to wait.
Lucha-masks.com, in partnership with Mask Republic, give you personal protective masks to keep you Lucha strong in the fight versus COVID-19. With world-class luchadors Blue Demon Jr., the Lucha Brothers, LA Park, Ultimo Dragon, Cain Velasquez, Conan, and so much more. Head to lucha-masks.com and you too can become a masked warrior. Lucha-masks.com, powered by Pro Wrestling Revolution.
All right, so hopefully the poll lines aren't too long for you people out there who are voting. You better be voting. Did you guys all vote? Did you guys?
By mail. Weeks ago, bro.
Yes, I voted.
You did what, Byron?
Yeah, if today's Tuesday, of course I voted.
Who'd you vote for? The Libertarian candidate, the Green Party? You look like one of those throw my vote away kind of guys. I'm just asking.
Yeah, my vote doesn't matter anyway. I'm not going to vote. Says 60 million.
We know who you would have voted for. We know how much you love Trump. You're a Trump guy.
He's a Yeezy fan from day one.
Yeezy.
I would have voted for AOC.
I wrote in Ricochet because I want to hear that acceptance speech. I voted for Ricochet for president of the United States. From Patawickawuka, Kentucky, or wherever the hell he's from.
Trevor Mann.
Paducah, Kentucky. Anyway, let's take a look at another one of our polls since we're talking about the election here.
Okay, let me take it out.
Was not that kind of poll.
I thought we were doubling up on the shaver commercials. I'm sorry.
All right, so which former Lucha Underground performer had the biggest year in 2020? The denizens of deliciousness have voted. The delicious daddies are here to count the votes.
Going on there.
And so, well, you say that, but first of all, you're the one that got Santos Escobar to retweet first. And then I stoked the fire a little bit with Karrion Kross, but he didn't retweet. He just commented and liked, and that got quite a few of his followers going. So then Karrion Kross was leading. The Penta and Phoenix fans never really came out, but then my buddy Thunder Rosa got a hold of this thing, retweeted it, and ran away with it with 47.4% of the vote. Thunder Rosa had the biggest year in 2020. And here's the thing. I think that there's actually an argument to be made there. I think it is either Kross or Thunder Rosa, as big as it is for Phantasma. I feel like Phantasma is exactly where he should be. He's doing exactly what he should be doing. They're giving him a nice push. He's making the best of it. But, it's also the Cruiserweight title. Like, if he was the NXT champ, I would say it was clearing away him. but they didn't put the big belt on him. They gave him the little guy belt, and they're letting him do more with it than they have with most, which is awesome. So big props to him, and I think that shows that he is top-tier talent. But I don't know if it makes him a top guy.
We've gone for Cross if the injury hadn't happened.
Yeah.
And honestly, you would have probably had to.
Because I think Cross was on this trajectory, which was just like almost vertical.
I think he still is. I think that this injury may, in fact, actually end up helping Cross in the long run. I think that the Karrion Kross thing, when he comes back, is going to be over so huge, audience or no audience.
And he's been filming in Tulum.
I don't even. Cool shit. Yeah, I don't know if they can. I don't even know if they can contain him on NXT for long. I feel like at this point, they're going to hold him back. They're going to maybe do something with Finn. And push him and leave him on NXT. I believe that he is pretty much recuperated at this point. So now it's just about getting the ring rust off and getting an opponent for him. I don't think that they're going to bring him back before the landscape is correct for it. And I could see them even holding off until around WrestleMania time for the big NXT pay-per-view leading into WrestleMania. They could hold off that long, and I don't think it would hurt him one bit. Or they could potentially even bring him into one of the other shows. I could see him on a Raw or a SmackDown pretty easily. I worry about that a little bit. I feel like if he makes his name in NXT a little more, he'll be a little more undeniable once he gets to the big shows, because that's what you really want. And he needs to get into big programs when he gets up to the big shows, which I believe is going to happen. I think that the way his merch moves and his gimmick and his style and his look, it's going to carry him a long way. That being said, go ahead.
Yeah, he definitely, I think, I don't want to say thrives. I think he definitely, he is best presented with a long story of continuity where the details matter. And you can do that in NXT, and you can do that on the big shows to an actual much bigger scale, to much more success, because you have all those resources. But more often than not, the bigger shows, they work towards TV segments. And so but it's very plausible that his whole gimmick could be shelved because they want good ratings for this 1/4 hour next week, and they put him in a diaper like Big Show, and then he has to rehabilitate all, even though it doesn't make sense like the next week. Sometimes they make a decision here's where I hope that he goes to Raw, because I think they're starting to realize now that they have to put the talkers on there. They have to put the people who they can expand into 2 or 3 segments in an episode. Like they're doing the stuff with Bray Wyatt where they're using him 3-4 times a night, not even wrestling, but just for segments with him and Alexa. They're doing the stuff with the Hurt Business where they're letting MVP have the stick. And I think the second they get a whiff of Cross and his promos and how he can stretch a story, or how one little piece of it could be him breaking an hourglass in the back, and then he could do an in-ring thing, or Scarlett could do something creepy, kind of like, what Alexa's got going on right now. Once they realize that he has the potential to fill time and progress story with simple little actions like that, I think that Raw would be the best fit. Yeah. No,
we'll see.
He was doing all of that in NXT, where he was doing that progressing story, but in a variety of ways, which is, to me, is so important for a wrestler on TV, because I always love seeing a wrestler who's able to earn a paycheck without having to take a bump. And so if you have a wrestler you invest a lot of time and money in, and they can go out and get you a good 1/4 hour without wrestling a match, that's a good investment.
All right, we got to talk about Thunder Rosa, friend of the show, friend of ours. Thunder Rosa dropped the NWA title to Serena Deeb this week, and that set off a cacophony of things that happened. My DMs blew up. Everyone was hitting me up like I was just going to happen to know what the hell was going on. The rumor mill was going. There's talk of all sorts of things that have been happening backstage at WWE, that that there was a dust up because she didn't get approached by NXT over there There's been talk that, Billy Corgan is letting people go because their power contracts aren't able to hold people under contract without that show. There's talk that she did so well at AEW that they wanted her full-time on the roster, but then that doesn't necessarily make sense if Deeb is the one that's holding the title. There's talks that she was going to WWE this week. There was all sorts of rumors going on. And hey, Byron, can you pull up the Mel video? You have that anywhere? I can probably find it from her. The one where she does the reveal.
Hold on,
I can probably find it.
Yeah, I gotta.
Byron's slow on the internet. Anyway, so I will tell you that of the things that are going on, and then there was even speculation that Thunder Rosa might be pregnant and that she was dropping the belt and pulling out of matches because she had a bun in the oven. That was the other rumor I heard. So just,
whoa, I never heard that shit.
Yeah, like I got asked flat out, like, "Hey, is Mel got a bun in the oven?" by a few people. And I will say this: I asked Thunder Rosa directly about one of those four possibilities. No, it's not that one. But you could. Okay. I mean, that's I don't like
Sorry.
that.
I'm bad on the.
No, I mean, hey, you can put that back if you want.
Yeah.
I didn't mind that one. I asked Thunder Rosa directly about one of those four possibilities of whether she was, going to stick around in NWA, or whether she was going to AEW, or whether she was going to WWE, or whether she was pregnant. And I will tell you that I got a very succinct answer about one of those things.
I'm not going to tell you what it is.
And it was a no. She gave me a very clear no about one of those things. I won't say what that thing is, but she gave me a very clear no about one of them. So now I have a 75% chance of getting it. You can't find it, Byron? Do I have to find this for you?
She has a lot on her Twitter. I just scrolled through the thousands of kids he dressed up as her for Halloween.
Oh, that's so adorable.
No, that's a sign that you're over as fuck. Seriously, like if someone dresses up as you're over.
I mean, literally, she was the most talked about wrestler this week, hands down. Hands down.
There we go. You ready? Here she is addressing.
Yeah, go ahead.
Make it bigger.
Yeah. Why does my audio work when I do this and yours doesn't? Do I have to do this for you, Byron?
Over it.
That's a lot of dedication, getting all those tattoos.
It's full. Okay, guys, it's not that loud, so.
Yeah, I can't hear any of that, Byron. Your computer sucks.
I hear it.
I don't hear it.
Anyway, she says, basically, what? What, Byron? What are you saying?
I don't know why audio isn't working for you.
No, because we're not hearing it from your computer. Anyway, doesn't matter. The point was she was teasing people of whether or not she was going to, and the video says a lot anyway, whether or not she was going to NWA, AEW, or WWE.
And she went and got that tattooed like that. That is just dedication.
It was a very cheeky response to all the rumors, I think.
Oh,
come on, we got a British guy on the show. I can't get away with a cheeky joke.
He did that whole fucking segment just to get that cheeky joke in.
I said cheeky reveal.
Cheeky reveal, yeah. It was worth it. Anyway, I've heard she's out of the Mission Pro tournament now too, though. So it leaves a lot of speculation out there.
It's time for it to build a legado.
Like, here's the thing. If Serena Deeb has the belt, but Serena Deeb is signed to AEW now, what does that say about Mel? I don't get it. Like, is she going to AEW but not getting the same treatment that Deeb is, or doesn't need it, or do they have something more in mind for her? I mean, Nyla Rose is up next again for Sheeta. Yay. That doesn't excite me at all. But, if you're WWE right now, you got to be looking at Thunder Rosa like, how did we miss that boat? You turn on AEW one day, you see this girl come out of nowhere. She's getting this fire promo. It's making the NWA title look great. The best any NWA title has looked in ages. It's there with the lights on the pedestal. Here comes this girl coming up. And at first they're probably thinking, she's nobody. She's some indie wrestler. She's older than other people. She started later than everybody else. She was a whatever character on Lucha Underground in a mask. She's not WWE material. Right. Then you see her on Dynamite against Deeb, which best women's match of the year so far, period, hands down. And then she's in the title picture, giving Shida, one of the best wrestlers from Japan, a run for her money, which has got to be making them think, oh my God, she could stand toe to toe with all these great Japanese girls we've got over here who are far and away better than half of the other girls on our roster. You got to be sitting over there in Triple H's office or Regal's office or whoever's at NXT who's supposed to be getting talent and saying, how did we miss the boat on this? She's just in NWA. She fights in Combatives America, and we couldn't pick her up on the WWE roster for pennies on the dollar at some point in time. Like, they got to be sitting there thinking, how did we fuck this up?
They have to. There's on so many levels that you're pointing out. Like, one, she's marketable. Two, she has that Ronda Rousey, crossing over into the other sport appeal. All this stuff, and also she's just a great wrestler. And I really hate to do this because she's been doing really well recently. But like, you have how many Aliyahs do you have at the Performance Center?
Yeah.
So many that they've spent, and they're paying them probably not much, but collectively they probably have spent so much money on Aliyah and other Aliyahs for close to a decade. And
how long has Aliyah been there? She's been like 7 to 10 years, I'm sure.
And they will never be able to lace the boots of where Mel's at now, let alone where Mel would end up after another year or two on a major TV show.
Yeah, and I get it. Like, look, Mel has not been doing this that long. Her promo skills are just now coming into their own, but they're good now. And clearly, with what the Performance Center has to offer, there's a lot to work with there, to the point where somebody should have called her. She shouldn't be going around on all these podcasts, including ours, and talking about how her opportunity at WWE was as a referee. Are you kidding me?
And it was kind of a long shot, too.
Correct. And like, that would be a horrible fit for her. Come on, man. It's hilarious to me. And yes, the rumors should be swirling because yes, everybody should be talking about her. She's not necessarily a free agent unless it's true that Billy has let her out of the contract. Who knows? But without TV, I could see it. I mean, they don't really have a leg to stand on keeping people if they don't have.
He's not the guy who stands in people's way anyway, is he really?
No, he's really not. And he stands to benefit more by having his champs on AEW or other places. And NWA was always kind of that promotion. It was like, we're the belt, and you're the territory. We'll bring our show to your town and then it'll move on. Or we'll leave a territorial belt in your town, and check in with you every now and then, or let you fight our national guy every now and then. That's always kind of what
they've been affiliated with the company, because weren't they with WCW at one point, and obviously TNA. So they've always been actually at some point connected to bigger companies.
Well, in and out of it. And ECW as well. But it's just that's kind of the way NWA is always run.
And they can kiss my ass.
You love that promo when they turn the belt over. Anyway,
Yes.
Billy Corgan's seems like he's smart in that realm. And when he has something big to do, if he buys himself some goodwill, some other places, it'll probably benefit NWA more than being a jerk. So yeah, the moral of the story is, Mel maybe does have something big coming up, or maybe she doesn't. Maybe it was just time for her to drop the belt to somebody else and she dropped it to Deeb. Who knows? She's still got Mission Pro. She's got her own stuff going on. But I do find it interesting that she's not in the Tournament from Hell anymore.
That is.
Mm-hmm.
That is.
I don't know what that means, man. And I'm tempted to ask her, but at the same time, it's like, I don't want to ask her because I almost don't want to get the real answer. A, because this isn't a news show where I'm trying to get the scoop. I like to be surprised by wrestling. Every now and then we find out something before someone else. And the times that we report it is when other people are just getting it wrong. It doesn't matter if anyone gets it wrong about Thunder Rosa. She's going to do her thing. She's going to be a huge star. She is a huge star. And hopefully she can just find a great way to monetize that and keep furthering her career. I could see any of the scenarios being a good fit for her. Either she stays the queen of the indies, running her own promotion and being an NWA and helping out Billy and those guys whenever she can, or she moves over to AEW, which I think could really help a lot of the girls there get a leg up, or she goes to WWE, where I think if she goes to NXT, they could really turn her into something, and you could see her being next year's Shotzi Blackheart.
I'd love to see her with Fantastic.
I think you throw her in that program with sorry, go ahead.
No, I just said I'd like to see her in the Legado group as the female.
Be interesting.
Yeah, to be on that doing stuff. Because obviously, imagine her in a nice like suit or something as well, with the half painted face.
It's hard to imagine her in anything else after that picture that Byron showed. But sorry, Brian. I apologize, Brian. I sincerely apologize.
Sorry,
but that
computer glitch.
Look, it started with that picture of her on the top of the stairs, and then there's like, what is going on? She's like
Brian appreciation minute.
Bro, well done. For real. What are you doing? Letting her out of the house like that?
I think Mel can do whatever she wants. How are you going to tell her to not?
I would not be the one to tell her no. I'm going to agree with you on that, Byron. She's like, I'm wearing this today. I'll be like, okay, cool.
Yeah. Also, here's something interesting. This, I'll just bring it up again. No. Here we go. I don't know how to use this computer. So like this thing, right? She's very clearly training for MMA at this place.
Oh yeah, this is an MMA session. She was doing I think this was jiu-jitsu session or something, right?
Yeah. So yeah.
And there's the question, AEW, WWE, or NWA, and then she did a post that said read between the lines. The one in the middle is WWE. So if you're reading in between them, maybe that's what she means.
What lines are they? I don't know.
Who knows?
What I like is
I think she was just using the phrase. I don't think it actually meant read between the lines. I don't think it was a riddle.
I think the proper use of read between the lines is when you do this.
Yeah, exactly. I was going to say the same thing, Byron. Thank you.
Give him the finger. All right. Well, look, I think she's smart to play it up no matter what. Most talked about wrestler of the week. She also won our poll very handily for the best former Lucha Underground luchador of 2020. And there's an argument to be made for it too, though I really do think that Cross as well has a genius argument to make for that. So we have one more poll that I want to get to. And it's a kick in the pants. So we'll be right back in a minute. We'll talk about that on this Election Day special of Mass Mats and Mayhem.
If you're listening to this and you haven't visited luchacentral.com, it's time to do it. LuchaCentral.com is the online home for Lucha Libre, where you can get all of the top news in English and in Spanish. Find the best curated video content and original content not seen anywhere else. Find when Lucha Libre events would be happening in your area. Find photo galleries from top photographers covering Lucha Libre around the world. From weekly polls to annual awards. Seen and read by top executives in all of the major Lucha Libre promotions across the globe. And on top of that, it's free. LuchaCentral.com, your centralized place for all things Lucha Libre.
Hey, did any of you guys see Hell in a Cell?
No,
yes.
I was watching
good.
Wing.
Oh, that's not a bad call. Like, Casey, I'm never going to hate on you for watching better wrestling than the wrestling I'm watching, but I got to say that I actually liked it. I liked Halloween Havoc too. I thought the second half of it was better than the first, but the ladder match with EO and Candice, they totally brought it. But also you were breaking up, Meef. What'd you say?
I missed the second half because my internet fucked up completely.
Oh, go and watch it. Like, it's actually worth it. But also, Hell in a Cell was great. The Sasha Bailey match, not bad at all. I liked that whole pay-per-view. I don't know what's going on. I have very little to complain about with WWE right now. I mean, there's still some people they're misusing and not doing what I want them to do with, but the people that they have out there, for the most part, I'm digging it.
Well, you're always going to get a good match, I think, with Sasha and Bailey, especially.
Not always.
On a pay-per-view.
Oh, and the best bit was when she's too sweaty to do the tape and she asked the referee. That's just fantastic.
But look, it's like 3 or 4 days later, and Sasha still has the belt. So here's to new things.
Yeah, she didn't lose it the next night for once. Pretty good.
Yeah, so who knows where they're going now? They're totally off the map. They're on to some new stuff. I'm just pleasantly surprised. Like, look, I know that for a lot of indie fans and Casey, the WWE is probably never going to do it for them again. I don't know if it's ever going to get to a point where it does. I don't know if there's going to ever be enough good characters for a lot of people to ever come back, but for what they're doing with their characters, like the Roman Reigns Jey Uso thing, I'm digging what they got going on with Randy Orton. I like the Bray Wyatt stuff, the Hurt Business. I hated it first. I'm liking now. I like what they're doing with Private Party over on the other brand, them feuding with the remaining half of New. Like, I actually just like the stuff they're doing right now. It works for me. I think they're the right people are on the right shows. I think
I want to point out that Justin called them Private Party.
Whatever. street profit party private people, they're all the same group anyway, right? They all look the same.
No, it's Montez Ford and then
the other guy.
Yeah, like they're good over there. It works. Whatever. Those two guys, Montez and his buddy, those guys. Anyway, the point of what I'm trying to say is that not everything in wrestling is always going to float everyone's boat, and I don't expect it to. And this certainly isn't the heyday of WWE, but they are doing a lot better right now. I think they have listened to a lot of the demand. I think that they have the right stuff on SmackDown. They have the characters that you don't want to see a big, long thing about. You just want to see a quick thing, a match, a segment, and let just the one guy at the top, Roman, have the 3 segments. Like, don't make everybody have 3 segments on SmackDown. It doesn't make sense. Get in and get out. Do the high profile stuff, and the telenovela stuff I think belongs there too. I think moving Ray and Murphy and Seth Rollins over there to do that bit with Dominic on SmackDown is absolutely where it should be. It did not work on Raw at all, and it works great on SmackDown. Enough of that. Let's get to our last poll, Byron. You got that one for me?
I got it right here.
Oh, this one breaks my heart. What former Lucha Underground star is the most underutilized? We got Swerve, Jack Evans and Angelico, Taya, and Ricochet. This is not tough. The winner that you have selected, the Denizens have selected, clearly Jack Evans and Angelico. This is an educated audience. That is the correct answer. There is no other answer. Not that these other people aren't underutilized, but let's look. Taya, she's underutilized because she's not on a big show, but what they're doing with her at Impact, she's clearly a star over there. She's clearly a top guy. She has juice in the locker room. I am very surprised with Johnny Gimmick name being over on WWE TV that they haven't pulled her over, but maybe she's just honoring her other contracts because she wants to. I don't know what her deal is with AAA right now. Is she still under contract to them as well? Does anybody know?
I don't know.
She is a legend of Lucha Libre. Kevin Kleinrock would be very upset if I did not mention that. But I think she's in a decent position. I would love to see more out of her. I think she's got one more big run in her. I got to be honest. I would like to see that run be in WWE for her. I think she deserves it. And I think that's the last stop on the train where she hasn't been. I don't think she should go to Impact. I don't think it serves her, or not Impact, but AEW. I just don't think that serves her in her career in any form. She'd have to go over there and do a lot of work, very little reward, which would be stupid. But I think she's being used fine. That being said, Swerve and Ricochet here, I feel like Swerve should be higher on this list. Well, he's doing all right. He's getting a little bit of time, but I mean, I feel like he's a solid intercontinental run kind of guy. I feel like he could be at the middle of the card and the top guy at the middle of the card. I mean, I feel that way about Santos Escobar too, but I don't think he's getting that opportunity. And I don't know that Ricochet is ready to be that guy because I don't think Ricochet can move a storyline enough. So I think Ricochet is underutilized, but I don't think he deserves to be utilized necessarily. I don't know that he's earned it yet.
Like when he was in NXT, and he could do his thing there. It fit in, and it's the type of stuff that gets you over in NXT. He did his flippy stuff. He did a couple catchphrases or a couple words, and he walks out and pretends he's like a comic book superhero, and it works. And it's great. But on the two main shows, SmackDown and Raw, he just doesn't. He doesn't have. It
doesn't resonate at all.
Yeah,
and I mean, I could think of storylines like if they put him in Hurt Business, maybe as a tag along guy. But how far is that going to get him? He's the next Shelton Benjamin? Well, like, what is he?
Virgil.
No, Virgil is better than that. Virgil can cut a promo if he needs to.
Ooh, guys, I got breaking news, gentlemen.
What's your breaking
wrestling news? AEW Series 3 action figures are going to be Matt Jackson, Nick Jackson, Darby Allin, Orange Cassidy, Riho, and the Bastard Pac.
Nice. Where's Bastard Pac anyway? What happened to him?
He's going to be on next week on AEW.
Oh, finally.
They already announced it. Yeah.
Wait, so why are they doing the Young Bucks again?
Because their wife fucking controls the merch.
That's true. That Darby's going to be a hot sell.
Yeah. That might actually get me to do something.
They already said he comes with a skateboard too. So
guess what this is?
Something crinkly.
This is the Darby Allin shirt I got off eBay.
Oh, dope.
I also got the Glacier mask.
Nice.
I spent like $120 for both.
Did you send me his fucking Mandalorian, Byron?
Yeah, I put it in ML Tuesday. Do you have it yet?
No, he doesn't have it yet. Apparently, I guess. I don't know. He never answers when questioned directly. He only answers when you're in the middle of something else completely important. You realize this, right?
Dickhead.
What?
Anyway, Jack Evans and Angelico. You've heard us talk about it before on the show. I think that they're clearly the most underutilized, even more so than Ray and Penta, Ricochet.
As you saw by my breaking news, we don't get another new tag team. We get the Young Bucks again as action figures.
Right. It's just a waste. Those guys could be such stars. They're only young once, and that time is leaving them rapidly. So I just hope very much that AEW, I feel like they're maybe starting to get the hint. And now they're starting another show at AEW, right? Now they're going to do some kind of Saturday show with Renee and Morrow as soon as their contracts are done at WWE. Is that actually happening? Is that a real thing?
Oh, who knows at this point?
They've been talking about the third hour, which they talk about it in a way that it sounds like they're going to
hate it.
Dynamite to 3 hours, but then they, after talking about it for a while, then they clarify the third hour is going to be a separate program, and they get a little bit too like network executive type speak about it,
right?
Saying, "Hey, we're going to."
Because that's probably where it's at right now. It's like you have to figure out how to monetize it before they're going to put it on TV. Now, if they get Renee Young or whatever her real name is, the Renee French Canadian name,
Paquette.
Yeah, French Canadian name
shows up. I think WWE is still like they got her back to do after SmackDown talk show.
Yeah, and talking smack.
She'll be Renee Moxley if she gets hired, though. So it's all good.
I don't know if they should do that. I don't even think they should acknowledge it.
Dude, she trains. She rolls.
But
is that the right word?
Yeah. Well,
yeah.
Kinda. If it's jujitsu, it is. Yeah, we'll see. And look, Morrow. If you do get Morrow, you got to do something with him. And I don't know that you can move aside Shivani and JR at this point, even though I would. I don't think that they could. I think, oh God, you know how much better Morrow could get over the indie cred and style of these guys at AEW than JR can. And I love JR.
You know what? You got Excalibur for that, and he does fine. I feel like.
Oh, but he can't do it like Mauro Ranallo. Come on, man. Mauro Ranallo could make Orange Cassidy's hands in his pocket seem like the most exciting moment on a generic episode of that show.
Isn't it usually?
But he can, but no one makes it seem like it is the problem. He does the spot, the crowd pops, everyone at home is like, this dude's awesome. And then like JR feels totally deflated.
It could.
Man, you know what's kind of cool? AEW, say what you want about them just pushing Cody and friends, but if you look at their merch sales, 4 of the 10 sellers, I was listening to this other podcast, Doing the Favor. It's a wrestling figure podcast. It's great. They're like 4 of the top 10 shirts selling in AEW are best friends or Orange Cassidy related.
Dude, I've been saying for a long time, Orange Cassidy is over. They need to keep that going. They have to keep that going. So, of course,
to keep it going, they had him lose to Cody. Good times.
Well, let's just see where.
Look, Cody's the ace, man. Cody's the ace.
It's also a big draw for them, too.
But he's not moving merch. And this is what happens when you get bad neck tattoos. Just saying.
I got to be honest with you. There are at least two people, probably more, who have gotten the Cody neck tattoo.
You know, and I would probably make sure they can't get into any of the buildings. I probably would.
Yeah, they're psychopaths. They're gonna be stalking Brandy because they're like, no, I've got the tattoo. You're my girl now. It's gonna be frightening. Those are real movie people.
MMM.
I have an MMM show tattoo designed with the mask and everything that I might do on my shoulder, but not on my neck because that's right here. Stupid.
Like the
lower back. Like, no, lower back.
Tramp stamp it? Sure.
Yeah.
Get a kill shot tattoo on the lower back.
Target, baby. Anyway, I hope you all voted. Please go vote if you haven't voted yet. I'm going to go watch the election results right now. Byron's going to go shave whatever that beaver that he fell on off his face.
Should we do a thing about shaving my beard?
Meatloaf is going to go and be angry at something, and Casey is going to be the only rational and reasonable human being on this show until the end of time because that's the actual bottom line.
Tracy's mother. It doesn't seem right.
And that's the bottom line.
Wait,
Meatloaf did the thing he was supposed to do. He's supposed to remind me to cry repeatedly over the fact that Tracy Smothers has left us. That's a big one.
Yeah,
and
I did this on Markout Mania.
You did?
Yesterday.
Good. Yeah. Go and listen to Markout Mania because it bums me out, man. I don't even like talking about it.
Yeah.
Sad.
Rest in peace, Tracy. One of the godfathers out there, brother.
Tell Odorous we said what's up, brother.
I have a lot of friends that went up and down the road with Tracy, so to all of them too, I send my best because I know it's a tough one for you guys. Anyway, on that note, go out and vote. Keep your face not looking like Byron's and do smart things in life like Casey, while me and Meatloaf just watch along and play the home version of the game. So until next time, stay calm and stay in the mix.
Peanuts.
Peanuts. Peanuts.